Panie ta panowie, rada was bачити.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Glad to see you. We are glad to have received this welcome to this press conference. We have together with us representatives of the Ministries of Foreign Affairs, not just from Poland, but also directors of departments from the Ministries of Foreign Affairs of a number of countries, participants in the Culture Europe, that is Poland, Hungary, the Slovak Republic. We haven't got our Slovakian friends with us in Kyiv, they're not here as well. And we also have our colleagues from Czech Republic and Austria, and we are here today to describe and announce an event that we want to promote. It is about theatrical program for children, which will be held in Kyiv in the Kyiv Academic Puppet Theatre in 7th to 10th of September. Together with us is the theatre director, Mr. Petrenko, who I'd like to thank for accepting our grant team to his theatre, and he will also be engaged in preparations for this event. My name is Figel. I am the director of Polish Institute in Kyiv, and I think I would now give everyone a possibility to speak up, to explain why we are here today, why we have decided to hold this event in Kyiv, and to explain which part of the program each of the countries has designed. And we do hope that this event will be of particular interest. It will bring more smiles in children's faces, and I'd like to give the floor now to Mr. Tomasz Szeratics, Director of the Public and Cultural Diplomacy Department of the Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Please.
Friends, I have the honor and privilege to represent here the rotating presidency of the Platform Culture Central Europe. Poland has taken over the presidency just this summer. We are a group of states that cooperate very closely to promote our common cultural identity. Our platform of cooperation has almost 10 years, and we promote our common identity by organizing events in the third states outside the European Union. We are present in Eastern Europe, we are present in Southeastern Europe. Last time we organized a common event even in Scandinavia. But when the time has come for Poland to take over the presidency, we were sure from the very beginning that we would like to organize a common event here in Ukraine. And there are at least two main reasons why we would like to give to you our cultural proposal, our cultural offer. The first reason is that we are strongly convinced that within this group of friends, within this group of countries, regardless some differences that there are among us, we create a common group with a common identity, very strong identity. And we as a Poland perceive Ukraine as well belonging to this grouping of Central European states, Central and Eastern European states with the same identity. So we are convincing each other every half a year, organizing an event somewhere in the third state, that we are very close to each other, and now would like to convince as well each other that Ukraine is with us as well. And the second reason is that one could say that now in these hard times there is no space for laughing, for having fun, for taking advantage of some cultural offers. We disagree with that point of view. We think that Ukraine more than ever needs a positive message of optimism, some message of good emotions, and we would like to hand over this positive attitude to you, showing our solidarity to you. So this is another reason why we wanted to meet you here in Ukraine. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow and day after tomorrow, you will have an opportunity to meet the best puppet theaters and some other grouping representing theatrical activities from Central Eastern Europe. I do believe that you will have fun and that you will enjoy this, but not only you, but first of all children that to whom we address our event. The main coordinator of our festival is Polish Institute in Kyiv. I must emphasize this because this is one of the strongest Polish institutes abroad. They organize plenty of events. Only this year, in the first half of the year, they organized more than 80 events in the field of public diplomacy, not only culture, but even with other disciplines. So I'd like to encourage you to get to know about the cultural offer of the Polish Institute, and to take part in the events organized by the Polish Institute here in Kyiv. Thank you very much.
Дякуємо.
Thank you. Now I would like to invite Mr. Director of Kyiv Academy Puppet Theatre, Mr. Petrenko. First of all, I am happy that here in the capital of Ukraine we are having such an important event for children. The school year started, and you know that now, unfortunately, the majority of artistic groups cannot go abroad. They cannot represent their art abroad. And unfortunately, few famous artistic groups are coming to Kyiv. And we will have this festival for 2 days. It has a very big creative potential for the development of children, because we all, the theaters of Slovak Republic, Hungary, Austria, Poland, Czech Republic, we all work for children. And when Ukrainian children have an opportunity to see European culture, to see the works of not our Ukrainian artists, but also the performances of some foreign theaters, this brings a lot of joy to us. Kyiv Puppet Theatre is the founder of one of the oldest international festivals of the puppet theatres in Europe, which was started in 1991, and practically all the countries which will be participating in our festival, they were at the stage of our theatre, and we hope that with each year, thanks to the support of the ministries of the Visegrad countries and the countries of the European Union, this will become some traditional event. There is such a proverb: when the tubes are playing, the cannons are silent. So we better would like to hear the applause from our small spectators, and we hope that this festival will become a significant event, not just for Kyiv, but for the whole country. Thank you. Now I would like to invite Mr. László Vizi, Cultural Diplomacy Director at the MFA of Hungary.
Gentlemen, dear friends, let me at the outset tell you how delighted I am to be here in Kyiv, representing the Hungarian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade. My special thanks certainly go to our hosts, the Ukrainian hosts, Mr. Director, and also to the Polish presidency of the PCCE. This was an excellent idea, and we highly appreciate the excellent preparatory work done by our Polish colleagues. Hungary will be represented here by the Imre Baros Circus Art School. This is a sort of acrobat training institute, and we really hope that they will bring joy to the children of the Ukraine. On the way back to Budapest, they will also perform in the Transcarpathian region on September 12 in Munkachevo and Beregszás. Let me a little bit echo the sentiments of my good friends, the Polish DG. For Hungary, this is our biggest neighbor, the Ukraine, and we are bound together by so many strong historical ties. And Mr. Director mentioned the proverb, and I hope I'm not torturing the interpreters as well. There's a saying in English, which can be easily translated into Hungarian, I'm sure also to the Ukrainian language. A friend in need is a friend indeed. This country lives now in very difficult situation, and under these conditions, we Hungarians, we do our best to provide help. Just in these weeks and days, wounded fighting soldiers, Ukrainian soldiers, are given medical treatments in Hungary. Their children spend some, I hope, very nice days, holiday days in Hungary as well. Well, despite difficult times, certainly we cannot forget about culture, and this event represents that we are doing the right thing. Hungarian-Ukrainian cultural relations are strong. Just yesterday, the biggest Hungarian university, the Alta University, had the honor that Mr. Vasil Nyecepa, the famous Shevchenko awarded singer, gave a book donation to the university. And let me also announce today that in October, from October to December, there will be the Hungarian Cultural Weeks here in Kyiv, including a concert, a Ferenc Liszt piano concert, a contemporary Hungarian film week, a traveling exhibition introducing Central and Eastern European synagogues, and also culinary weeks. So these ties are really strong, and we are very happy to be here. And once again, thank you very much for the Polish presidency, and thank you very much for the Ukrainian friends.
Дякуємо.
Thank you. Now the director Jana Tomková, the director of the Culture Diplomacy Department at the Slovak Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
My name is Jana Tomková. I'm from Slovak Ministry of Foreign and European Affairs. I'm director of Culture Diplomacy Department. Dear PCC members, dear guests, following up was already been said. I would also like to thank Polish side for organizing such event. It is our pleasure to be part of PCC projects. We are happy to contribute to this idea of our Polish partners to bring some joy into lives of children who deserve it most. PCC already exists almost 15 years, and up to now we have prepared many projects, approximately 30. Which is a very good sign of our close cooperation in Central European region. This is the first time when we event decided to children, and to Kyiv National Pup Theatre, where it takes place, looks wonderful and absolutely perfect for this occasion, so we'll be happy to join our colleagues these 2 days to fulfill the nice idea of this event. Thank you very much. Now the presidential country in PCC is Poland, and so was also in the first half year 2015 Slovakia. Slovak Republic organized under our presidency and platform the event in Scandinavia, how do you say, How Central Europe Helps the World, took place in Norway. Through presentation of pictures, we wanted to show to Norwegian how PCC member states help people in different parts of the world affected by humanitarian crisis war, conflicts, or natural disasters, and show the activities and development projects implemented in Africa, Asia, Middle and East, and Eastern Europe. The exhibition was also dedicated to the European Year for Development 2015, declared by the European Union. After presentation in Norway, the exhibition has already been presented also in Latvia, and the next destination will open in October in Finland by High Representative of Slovakia. But I would like to come back to our event. As for this event here in Kyiv, Art for Children, we would like to introduce our Ukrainian support. Ms. Zvenislava Loboda and Ms. Vera Jakubik, who are here to assist us these 2 days. At this wonderful occasion, also our colleagues from Slovak Embassy will help us here in Kyiv. Zvenislava is engaged into providing assistance to internally displaced persons and families of military volunteers in eastern Ukraine and participates in different kinds of projects for IDPs community. She also co-organizes events for children. Vera's affinity for work with children is also expressed by the fact she is well experienced in teaching children and Transcarpathian Regional Palace of Children and Youth Creativity. Together we will try to enrich the program for children by engaging them actively into create games of different kinds. Everybody from you is also welcome. Thank you very much.
Ďakujemo.
Thank you. Now the floor is given to the director of the Czech House in Kyiv, Ms. Lucia Grigorikova. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I would also like to thank my colleagues and I'd like to express my gratitude for us being able to launch another yet important event. One of the many we've been able to see in the past time. The expression, the proverb mentioned here several times here, which is muses are to keep silent when arms talk. I would like again to say that I do not agree with it, because the language of culture will surely show it is much more potent than any armament. And I think it is hard to find better argument, a better possibility to launch an event of that caliber that will bring fun and enjoyment to the many children in Ukraine, also from those regions that belong to the part of Ukraine occupied by its neighbor. And it is really symbolic to see that Central European Cultural Platform is the organizer and coordinator of this event. You know that thousands and thousands of refugees go through our countries, through Czech Republic, through Slovak Republic, through Hungary, through Poland. But I can tell you that after the year when we managed to gain our national independence, we've been able to prove that we do belong in rich democratic world, and we are ready to tackle any challenge the world presents with proper responsibility. And we will manage these challenges in a Central European way with due respect to humanism and those ideals of human rights that still have not been fully implemented. War challenges represent another burden that Ukraine has still to bear, but nevertheless there is good news to hear, because we all belong to the same environment and we have shared values and we will fight for them as we have been. Ukraine has always belonged to the common European home, whatever the so-called northern brother would speak, oftentimes with submachine gun in his hand. Cultural diplomacy is not about high-level policy, but nevertheless, we think that mediation via culture will definitely change this world for the better, and we truly hope that the Czech performance presented by Vision Theatre will be thoroughly enjoyed by local audiences, and we would gladly see smiles on children's faces. This is what we have to do. Thank you. And now the floor is given to the director of the Austrian Cultural Forum in Kyiv, Stephane Karner.
And my name is Stephane Karner. I'm the director of the Austrian Cultural Forum. Like previous speakers, I would also like to thank my colleagues from Hungary, from the Czech Republic, from Slovakia, in particular from Poland and from the Puppet Theatre, for making this unique event possible. And some of my colleagues already touched upon the logic behind this event. So likewise, I would like to say some words on the reason behind it. For us, the goal of Art for Children was to design a project which enables the children to enjoy themselves in a carefree and child-orientated environment for a couple of days. And over the next 2 days, the children will have the chance to see shows and performances from our respective countries, but also to engage themselves in workshops, to play and to be creative. And as previous speakers said, also we hope that it will bring back some smiles on the children's faces. So we believe that in these difficult times we all need to work together and to do our utmost to support children, who are the most vulnerable segments of society and therefore also the first victims of conflict. And we are therefore extremely grateful that due to our cooperation between Central European countries, we managed to bring this project to Ukraine to the benefit of the children of Ukraine. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to use this occasion to add a couple of words about the group of artists we've brought from Poland. There is Alok Theatre from Lublin. They will organize an exhibition from toddlers, actually 3 to 6 years old. It will go along Polish paths, and it will be a very nice exhibition of great interest for children, and they will be able to immediately participate in it. And we also invited Taraka Band, and I think many people in Ukraine know the name. And together with children's choir Dora Do, they will be singing at the inauguration of the event at 9 a.m. on 7th. I would also like to remind you that we received the patronage and support from the wife of the President of Ukraine. She promised to be together with us at the inauguration ceremony. This is of great importance for us. And I'd like to tell you that the spouse of the President has been frequent participant and supporter of such events, and it will make another nice possibility to remind everyone how we remember about developments in Ukraine. This exhibition I have described will be one of the key elements of our cultural event for the whole for all the children of Ukraine, but also and foremost for children from the east of Ukraine and for children of those fallen Ukrainian servicemen whose fathers were fighting there. And I would like again to extend thanks to the theater director who will be hosting this event, though surely this event would not be possible without support from the Department of Culture of the Kyiv Municipal Administration and a whole host of volunteers who have supported our idea, continue supporting it. We've managed to gather a group of almost 60 volunteers willing to deliver the hand of assistance free of charge throughout the days of the event. Thank you again for your attention, and we are ready to take questions, if any. Thank you. If I have any questions, at least we have one from the Ukrainian Crisis Media Center. First of all, thank you, the Ministers of Foreign Affairs and all representatives of the neighboring countries for having organized this tremendous event. We've heard that children of IDPs will be invited, and could you tell us whether there will be some specific ratio of the involvement, and are you going to have any similar events, or put it other way, are you going to move east with your events, because Kyiv surely is the focus of many such events, but cities like Kharkiv or Dnipropetrovsk definitely see less of them. I will probably take the first question with children of IDPs. We addressed organizations and institutions dealing with children refugees stationed here in Kyiv, and also to the organization of Crimean Tatars, and they responded to our request. As of today, as of the first half of this day, we tried to make groups of children to organize the most exposure. We have 257 persons, the majority of them refugee children, and in the second part of the day it will be roughly 50-50 ratio. We try to react to those institutions that addressed us, and we also delivered information to other institutions dealing with children. We would definitely like to continue with the project, and we have been thinking of bringing our actors further on to probably to Kharkiv and Dnipropetrovsk. The only problem is it's really hard to go on with a program in which so many countries are involved. To make this happen at one time in a specific city, we need 5 or 6 days maybe to go to, say, Kharkiv or Dnipropetrovsk, so it was not possible to decide upon that at this moment. But I think that my colleague will speak about their group, and they're going to visit Vinnytsia.
As to your second question, the objective of our center is to decentralize our activity. We started actively working in Dnipropetrovsk. We organize the courses of Czech language. We organize our events there, and our theater group will go from Kyiv to Vinnytsia. They will perform for children, and then they will organize a workshop, and then they will participate in Lviv Forum. When we started discussions, we wanted to organize a tour by bus to Kharkiv and Don, but unfortunately the school year started and the groups are busy, but we hope that we'll be doing more in the east, to the east of Kyiv. I would like to add one word more. We are organizing events not just in Kyiv, but first of all Kharkiv, and in October the theater group Arabeska will go to Poland. This will be a special visit. You know that we have Polish-Ukrainian events, and we want this theater to present their performance which talks about Volyn, and it will be interesting to see what will be the feelings of our people, how they will perceive this performance, so that Polish could also feel what is the attitude of your society to the events of the past.
Thank you very much for the question and also for the interest. Let me, at the beginning, a little bit describe how we work together. Last time we gathered together was Oslo, the event under the Slovak presidency, And then we discussed this event, and let me repeat, that was an excellent idea from Poland, the current presidency. So the event here in Kyiv is going to be the PCC event. But separately, I think all countries might go ahead and taking advantage of being in this country and knowing the situation, take the artists to different other cities. So as I mentioned at my presentation at the beginning, Hungary also decided to take the Imre Baros Circus Art School to Transcarpathian cities, and that's what we're going to do. And I forgot to mention that the next presidency is Hungary, so this afternoon perhaps when the DGs gather together we will discuss what is our next program next year. Thank you.
Perhaps only some add that it's very important to bring second city in one country. When I said about the Slovak presidency project, how the Europe helps the world, this was pictures and films and movies, then this is a little bit easier to bring from country, from city to city. That is this reason that these many people, they will be these 2 days here, is perhaps too difficult and too expensive to bring in other countries. This is only.
If I may take the privilege of the presidency and to conclude this answer, we are planning to work in the long term. This is our idea. Of course, this event that takes place tomorrow and day after tomorrow, is an important event to us itself. But another goal, another additional value of this event is that we can initiate some institutional ties between our cultural institutions from our respective states and with our Ukrainian partners. I talked earlier with Mr. Director. He already had many contacts with our theaters from Poland, but never from Lublin. So this occasion tomorrow and day after tomorrow is to maybe to start a new form of cooperation, and you never know, maybe in a few months' time or maybe next year we'll organize another event just as an additional value of these happenings that take place these days. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Чи є ще питання? Так, прошу.
Thank you. Other questions, please? Good afternoon. Яскрава країна, civil society organization, city of Dnipropetrovsk. I first of all would like to thank you for, particularly the Hungarian side, for your support, for the possibility to cooperate with this circus school named after Imre Baros. On the other hand, we already have long-standing cultural ties with your country, and I cannot but agree with the moderator that and I'd like to say that our city, our region is probably the closest one to the front line. We have lots of wounded soldiers and orphaned or refugee children who had to move there from the ATO area, and given we already have experience of similar actions and activities, we would suggest some cooperative ties, because there are children in the Dnipropetrovsk region ready and willing to become involved in such events. The only question is who we need to address, who to contact, if we have ideas of projects that we are ready to present to our children.
I will answer, and then maybe some of my colleagues of the institutes which are present at Kyiv will add something. We can always cooperate with our institutions every year. We just need to plan projects, just come to us with proposals, and the partners, our partners, either from Czech Republic or Austria, may also join in. I would like to add that In Dnipropetrovsk, we had the meeting with the representatives of the municipal administration of Dnipropetrovsk, and they also said that they're very much interested in starting cooperation with us. But now our colleagues started from sending economic mission to Dnipropetrovsk, because before the elections and after the elections, it's very important to help transform regional structures. And in the Polish Institute, we have a group of people who are cooperating, who are working on cooperation with at the regional level, and you can talk to them not just about economic reforms. We're expanding our context. We just didn't have time to get to you.
Thank you very much. Addressed to my country, Hungary. I very much welcome the fact that the Jászkava Krajina Foundation is represented here, and we are certainly aware of the fact that how close ties you maintain with our Imre Baros Circus Art Center. And we deem it extremely important that in areas, as you mentioned, in Dnipropetrovsk, this cooperation can continue. Let me also mention to your concrete question that certainly whenever you have ideas of cultural cooperation, you can always address it to our embassy. The Chargé d'Affaires and the Chancellor is present. You certainly know them. And let me also tell you that we are very glad that in the near future, although we do not have a cultural center in Kyiv, but in the near future we are going to have a full-time Hungarian diplomat whose only task is going to be to promote cultural and educational ties between the two countries. I think it will happen in the autumn. So hopefully he or she will be an important contact for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. І в нас є ще одне питання. Прошу.
One more question.
Доброго.
Olga Ozolina, journal Natalie magazine. My question may be a bit premature, but still I'd like to know whether you as the participants in that event have any idea of holding a similar joint event at some point in the future. Maybe not a festival, but kind of a joint performance featuring a host of Polish, Slovakian, Hungarian, other actors or artists. Let me say from the Ukrainian side that in the coming year the Kyiv Puppets Theatre has included a Czech tale of Zlata Vlaska by Joseph Karner into its schedule. And we've cooperated with Bratislava director. Problem was for the time of that cooperation that we had no actually scene and performance premises because we were switching in between them. Yet now, as we have fully fledged nice premises nearby the European house here, we are ready to become really an outlet of European culture and an educational center for children in Ukraine. And actually, I think that the whole of Ukraine needs to become this network of centers of European cultural excellence. It's these contacts with children and for the benefit of children, for the sake of their future, can and have to be done everywhere, in every region of Ukraine. So let us hope that we will continue our cooperation, because I've already mentioned it, that all the mentioned countries are participating in the event of tomorrow, and the same countries were present at the main scene of our theater here in Kyiv. Surely we will need to expand the geography of our presence, but it is about costs involved as well. We need to cater for transportation, boarding costs, etc. Nevertheless, I think and I hope that culture will always win. I would like to add to here that we've still broken the ice already. We are moving because the Kyiv Academic Puppet Theatre is going to stage a performance Gusi Lebedi, which will be a joint project. I repeat it again, it will be a joint project, and we've designed it, prepared it together as a humanitarian action for the benefit of children. Thank you. Any questions or requests from the audience? If not, let me thank you all, the representatives of these countries of Hungary, Austria, Poland, Slovak Republic, Czech Republic, and we will gladly hear more about cultural developments and cultural exchange in this our center, with true hopes that it will help bringing an end to this war. Thank you.
Thank you very much. No problem. Thank you. At the beginning to our institute and then to our